Hi guys, it's Wombat and welcome to another video in my Russian truck series. Now this is a Kraz 255, I'm fully aware of it, and before you start calling me an idiot, let me just say a few words. Kraz is not a Russian company. Their headquarters are in Ukraine, but my tour around Russian trucks also covers trucks from the former Soviet Union. And therefore, Kraz 255 is a perfect example of a great Soviet Union truck from a company not so great anymore. And with that said, please go on and call me an idiot in the comments if you like. Anyway, Kraz was founded in 1945 as a bridge building company. And it wasn't until 1958 that the transformation to a truck building company took place. Their first truck was the Kraz 222, and despite a slow start, only 2 trucks were assembled the first year, they reached 100,000 truck in the same year that the 255 was introduced. And that was in 1967, when Beatles had just released the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band album, and young teenagers got friendly and smoked pot and grooved to music by bands like the Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane and the Byrds. And the American leftists were protesting the Vietnam War, and Flower Power was all about making love. A lot of love. And the Kraz 255 was the complete opposite to all of that. It was, and is still of course, a very big and heavy duty 6x6 designed to thrive in extreme conditions. It is possibly best known as the Kraz 255B, the flatbed version, but in this video we are testing the 255V, which is the tractor version. The truck originally had a 4.9 liter Jams diesel V8 producing 240 horsepower and 883 Newton meters of torque. That, together with the Jams 5-speed manual it came with, made it capable of speeds like 70 kilometers an hour. 73 I think was the top speed. Production stopped in 1994, but it is still operated in more than a dozen countries around the world. Kraz did well for themselves throughout the years producing the 255, and they had their peak years in the mid-80s, producing some 30,000 trucks per year. But the end of the Soviet era meant that Kraz had to rely on their own merits and truck models in a world that wasn't on that keen to have more military trucks. And of course Kraz produced more than just the 255 and the different variations of it. They produced civilian trucks as well, but for too many years the 255 had been the basis of Kraz. By 1996 their production was down to less than 2,000 trucks per year, and they hit rock bottom in 1999 when only 827 trucks was produced. Since then they have developed new trucks, mainly armored military trucks like the Cougar, the Spartan, the Shrek, and production is up to about 2,000 trucks per year again, but the heydays of Kraz is over. It's a shame, because in their glory days and even to this day the reputation of these trucks are formidable. Kraz trucks are strong, rough, hard, unbeatable, freakishly big, impossible to break, and I assume it's a joke, like Euro trucks, but on steroids. I guess the only downside to a Kraz truck is that it's slower than a turtle. And speaking of turtles, this is my Kraz 255, the 255V to be precise. No, my 255V doesn't have the original engine, neither does it have the original gearbox. I'm running a 420 horsepower, 1765 Newton meter torque engine, a V8 of course, with a 40 gear speedbox with a retarder. As you can see, I also have a GPS and a PC and a rubber duck, and they are all modern day optionals, as well as the clock. That probably goes for the green console dial light as well. Apart from that, this truck is, in my opinion, spot on. I love the color of the thing, I love the paint skin of the truck. The engine, as I said, it isn't original in any way, and therefore I have no real opinion on the engine sound other than the engine sounds really great. And since I am running on a much bigger engine than the original had, I'm also able to haul some pretty heavy stuff like this M978 that weighs about 35 tons. And speaking of cargo, I'm hauling that from the Uralsk to how do you say that? Shimpiti, I think. I wrote it down because I wouldn't be able to remember it. Shimpiti, yeah, it's in Kazakhstan anyway, and therefore the roads are a little rougher, which I kind of like. What else can I say about this truck? It is a great truck, a great mod. Is it gonna make it to my top 10 list of Russian trucks? I haven't driven everything that is out there, obviously, but so far I have only driven about 10 of them, and yeah, it's on the current list. Will it be on the list when I have completed all the trucks I have planned to drive? Probably, but it's not a top 5. Honestly, it isn't. But it's still a very, very nice truck indeed, and I like it a lot. And I like it so much that I will be doing several other hauls with it, and 1 or 2 of them will probably make it to YouTube as well, because I want you to be able to go through an entire haul together with me without me talking and interrupting you when you are trying to listen to the engine, both from the inside of the cab and from the outside. So I'm gonna do that as well with this truck, because it is definitely good enough to do that. And it's not really fair to the Kraz 255, because previously this one I have driven the ZIL 130, 131 and 133, and they are superb. And compared to those, or that mod, the ZIL mod, nothing comes close to that. So it's a bit unfair to the Kraz 255 to be the first one directly after those trucks. But anyway, as I said, it would probably still be on my top 10 list when I have driven through all the Russian Soviet era trucks. And with that said, oh yeah, one more thing. Speaking of the trailer, you have probably noticed that the back of the trailer is very low and the front of the trailer is very high, and that is because I'm driving a Kraz. Kraz trucks are ridiculously big, and this is also a off-road truck, as all Kraz trucks are, and therefore you will have a hard time finding anything that looks good behind your truck, because they are, as I said, incredibly big. Another thing about that, speaking about big trucks, off-road trucks, a truck like this should probably be better off being driven on the, say, the open spaces, for instance, the Russian map mod. I would definitely recommend you trying it out on that map if you are using it. I'm not that much into Russian open spaces yet. I would possibly change my mind in the future, but right now I'm quite happy with what I have. And for sure, if I go there, or when I go there, this truck will definitely be on the list of the trucks I need to try in open spaces, because this would be a fantastic off-road truck. And with that said, I think we are done. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes or whatever is left of this haul, so that you can listen to the engine of the truck, and there will be another video of this truck with me not saying a word, so that you can listen more thoroughly to the engine, both from the inside of the cab and outside. And until then, take care guys, bye bye.